Tonight we want to talk about overcoming materialism. Overcoming materialism. And, in the book of Colossians, third chapter, Paul wrote to the saints there, and he was warning them about how that there were those that would seek to take them away from the simplicity of Christ. It was as though that they would be carried away, much like a kidnapper. They would be taken away. And so Paul writes the epistle to the Colossian saints in order that they might be forewarned, that they might stand strong, that they might not be weak, that they might not be led astray by the philosophies of men into error. Materialism is something that has carried so many people away. Materialism is something that is deceitful. Among the sins, perhaps, that are described and classified and revealed in Holy Scripture, perhaps the sin of materialism is one of, if not the most, respectable sin, and I'm putting quotation marks. It has become one of the most respectable sins in Scripture. Materialism, greed, covetousness should not be thought of in terms of being okay, something to be winked at, dismissed. It's not something that should be respected. As you are well aware, wealth is a relative term. When we talk about wealth, when we talk about financial situations, it's relative. There's always someone who is wealthier and someone who is less wealthy. But you and I live here in the United States of America here in the 21st century according to the standards of the world, according to the standards of bygone generations and civilizations. You and I, all of us, are extremely wealthy. We're wealthy as kings and princes who have gone before us in various civilizations. We are a wealthy people. Materialism is not limited to affluent countries. Even countries, individuals living in what's sometimes described as third world countries, individuals living in nations that are less advantaged than ourselves, can still struggle and have problems with materialism. A person can still have the wrong attitude within the heart pertaining to money and material goods living in those societies. But you and I are especially fraught with danger. We're in danger because of the materialistic society that we're living in. I think we'd all agree tonight that we live in a society and culture that is focusing and concentrating on the financial picture. Oftentimes when questions are asked, maybe there's a poll, whether it's CNN or some other news organization, and they will call out and they ask these questions to their viewers and various citizens of the country. What issues are most important to you? They'll ask that question. And oftentimes, the economy, right? It's the economy. Maybe it's, if it's not up there at number one, it's pretty close. American citizens are always thinking about, concerned about the economy. There's nothing necessarily wrong with being concerned about the economy. But should that be our primary consideration on the direction and who we vote for? Is the economy the beginning and the end of what we're interested in to do? Moral issues enter the picture at all? Or are we more concerned about the economy than we are justice and godliness? Are we concerned at all about the country being a nation under God? We do live in a have the tendency, the inclination to want things. If we have wanted something, oftentimes we find ourselves wanting another one. I need another one. You get another one and then, oh, well, I've got two now and I need another one. I need another. And maybe I've got all of these and now I want something that's bigger. Maybe it's a bigger TV screen. Maybe it's a bigger automobile, a bigger boat. I need something bigger. I need something better. We get something that's better, and then we need something that's been a few years. We've had it 2 or 3 years, a few months, and now I need something newer. There's something new that's come out on the market, and I need this. No, I want this. And so we find ourselves in this cycle, in this race, competing against people perhaps that we don't even know or maybe don't even like. We live in a materialistic society, and because we live in this society, maybe especially, we are threatened. What is materialism? It's been defined by Webster as the tendency to be more concerned with material than with spiritual values. Let's read that again for emphasis. Materialism is defined as the tendency to be more concerned with material than with spiritual values. You and I have been born into the family of God. We're Christians. And we are to be subscribing to Christian values. God is our teacher. What has God taught us? We're concerned with justice. We're concerned with ethics. We're concerned with moral values, spiritual values. But are we more concerned about what we possess than anything else? Someone has said that materialism sets up another object or other objects of worship besides God. Materialism replaces God on the throne of one's heart with the desire for and the pursuit of money and possessions. So we can become idolatrous. Back in other civilizations and generations, oftentimes a god was a tree. Or maybe it was a huge rock over here. Maybe it was something made out of silver or gold. And people found themselves prostrate, getting down on their knees, and bowing before these images or these material things that they had made or had found. You and I today, we don't do that so much. Not the trees or the rocks, maybe gold and silver. But the gods of our generation are seemingly different from what they were in bygone eras. But the question for us to pose tonight is our heart, is the position of our heart any different than the position of their hearts when they were bowing before a tree, grove, before another material object? There is sort of religious purpose, a devotion of the soul to tangible temple concerns. That is the problem of materialism. James Meadows has called materialism, quote, the gospel of the flesh. The gospel of the flesh. You know what John warned about in 1 John chapter 2, 15 through 17. Let's turn there for just a moment in our Bibles. In the New Testament, John's epistle, 1 John chapter 2, 15 through 17. Love not the world. There's the negative. Don't do it. Do not love the world, neither the things that are in the world. Which at least includes material possessions, material things, things that are in the world. If any man love the world, and we could, by ellipsis, add, or the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, what's that? The lust, the desire of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life. These things, John says, they're not of the Father. They are of the world. The world passeth away, the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. He that doeth the will of God. God must be on the throne. God must be our sole object, if I can say that. I don't really like the term object in this connection, but he is to be the one that we bow before. He is the object of our worship. Materialism bows to the greedy desire for and pursuit of things and exalts such above God. We know that God is a jealous God. The book of Exodus chapter 20, when he gave the 10 Commandments, thou shalt have no other God before me. As God did not accept idolatry under the patriarchal age or under the Mosaic age, it has not become acceptable to God in the Christian age. In the notes here, and I debate on whether to put this in here or not, and I almost regret not taking it out, but it's in there nonetheless. There's a couple different versions of this story, and it's fictitious, and that's one of the reasons why I should have taken it out. I don't mind stories that illustrate, but I'm not too keen on fictitious stories. But there's a story about a man, a Californian, was driving down the road in his bright red convertible BMW. There was an earthquake. Split the road he was driving on. His sports car was swallowed into the ground. Man was fortunate. He jumped out in time to save his life. But before he could get completely away, the car rolled over, cut off his left arm. He stood on the ground looking into the pit, crying out, "Oh no, my car, my car!" The man passing by stopped and he asked, "How can you cry about your car? You just lost your arm." The man looked at where his arm was supposed to be. He said, "Oh no, my Rolex, my watch! Oh no!" Well, that illustrates the loss of focus that we can have. We know sensibly, logically, that in a situation like that, a man should be thankful that he has his life. Because in a situation like that, he could easily die. He's alive, that's what's most important, but he's thinking about the material over life and limb. Is that the way you and I are? Are we more focused upon the material than we are even our own lives, our spiritual connection with God? Are we more concerned about material than we are the kingdom of heaven and the needs of people around us who are in distress, who are hurting and in need? Let's discuss the threat that's posed by materialism. It's the things that are associated with materialism. And the first I want to mention is the problem of pride. We know that God is not happy with individuals that are arrogant. He does not appreciate the spirit of a man whose heart is filled with pride. James teaches that we're to humble ourselves before Him. Humble yourselves before God, and He will exalt you in due time. And the man who exalts himself, James writes, that individual will be abased. God will lower him. But there's a problem of pride. It's warned about way back in the Old Testament concerning God's people when when Moses was speaking to them about what God was going to do for them and bring them to that wonderful land of promise, that land of Canaan that flowed with milk and honey. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8, 6 through 20 for just a moment. Deuteronomy chapter 8, 6 through 20. And there is the statement here made about how that the Lord was going to do certain things in the future and how that the people, God's people Israel, would be blessed. Materially speaking, they would come into a land, in verse 8, a land of wheat, barley, vines, fig trees, pomegranates, a land of olive oil, honey. In verse 9, there'll be no scarceness of bread. Thou shalt not lack anything in this land. It's a land where there's iron and brass that you may be able to dig and construct various items. In verse 10, when thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord. You are to bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee. Beware, a word of caution. Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God, and not keep his commandments, judgments, statutes, which I command thee. Verse 12, bless when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses, when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied. You see, God was going to bless them beyond their imagination. God was going to bless them. God was going to bestow immense wealth upon Israel in the land. But beware. Verse 14, then thine heart be lifted up, thou forget the Lord thy God, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. Goes on to talk about various things that they experienced, and God delivered them and brought them through. He provided for them very wonderfully. Verse 17, and thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand got me this wealth. You see, that is the spirit of pride that he was warning them against. Don't forget the Lord. In verse 18, thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. Verse 19, if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God and walk after other gods, serve and worship them, I testify against you this day, ye shall perish. Ye shall surely perish, as the nations which the Lord destroyeth before your face, so shall you perish, because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God. The problem of pride. Pride is associated with materialism. This change of attitude, this change of perspective about one's possessions. There is the tendency to come to a place where one thinks, I am a self-made man. I did this because of my intellect, because of my wisdom, because of my power. That's what we're talking about earlier in our devotion. With Solomon, with Daniel, God gave them what they had. And then there's secondly the problem of covetousness from Luke chapter 12, verse 15, the warning. And the context is broader than just verse 15. But in verse 15, Jesus is speaking, and he said, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. Covetousness. What is covetousness? It is a yearning and illicit desire in the heart to have what one does not possess. Maybe it's something that you see around you. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's a brother or sister in the church. But there's somebody around you and you see some possession and you look upon it with favor and glee and you say, man, I want that. In every generation situation of God's dealing with man, God has taught and warned man about the problem of covetousness. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's animals. Thou shalt not covet his land. Thou shalt not covet his house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, your neighbor's spouse. You're not to covet, you're not to desire what belongs to another. Covetousness. Take heed. Beware. This is the problem of materialism, the problem of greed, this inordinate desire for more. I want more. And I will do what it takes to have it. And then there's another problem associated with materialism, and that is anxiety. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 12. Solomon was a man that for some period of time in his life, he thought that life would have its really fullness and meaning by being wealthy, by garnering greater and greater possessions. Solomon had a lot, was very wealthy. In 1 Kings chapter 10, we read about his wealth, his extravagant possessions. And later he comes to learn the folly and the void that possessions, there's still that emptiness in man. Ecclesiastes 5:12 reads, "The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little, whether he eat much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep." The abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. It's one of the problems, the threatening concerns of materialism. Materialism sometimes, there's this shroud, it's encloaked. A person pursues, a person is wanting to have some form of security, wanting to garner greater wealth, to accumulate riches, to amass riches in order to be secure in a time, the future is uncertain, right? Today we face, materially speaking, our economy, we face an uncertain future. As a nation, as a people, and individually, you and I, sitting here right now, all of us, I think we could truthfully say, as we think about the future and how we are going to meet expectations and responsibilities going forward, I think we can acknowledge that it's uncertain. And so sometimes people will pursue a greater measure of wealth, try to inoculate against that, to have a greater abundance, to protect against the uncertainty and potential loss. But Solomon here writes that it has the opposite effect. It has the opposite effect. Riches, abundance, creates anxiety. And so a person can experience anxiety whether he has little or whether he has much. Anxiety can still be there. The question is, what is the object? Who is the object of our trust? Are we trusting in God or are we trusting in mammon? Anxiety. And then ultimately there's the problem of death associated with materialism. Matthew 16:26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? For what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So a person can be very wealthy. A person can be the richest man in the world. and still die unprepared to meet God. A person can be the wealthiest individual in all the world and still lose his soul, and still suffer throughout all eternity in that place of outer darkness. And so we can make bad bargains. We can make bad trades. 1 Timothy 6, 9 and 10 is another passage of interest. 1 Timothy 6, 9 and 10. Let me go there. It's 1 Timothy 6, 9. But they that will be rich, they that will be rich, fall into temptation and a snare, that is a trap, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith, pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Paul would have Timothy and Christians of that day and Christians of every generation thereafter until Jesus comes again to know that riches do not save. There's nothing wrong, and we're going to see here in just a few moments, we're going to see that wealth is not inherently evil, but it is our mindset toward wealth. As we proceed, let us look at 2 or 3 illustrations, and there's a number of others in the Scriptures. Individuals, groups of people that had the wrong attitude toward material things. But the rich young man in Matthew 19, 16 through 22 is one such example. Matthew 19, 16 through 22. This particular man, he was a pretty good guy in a lot of ways. Good master. Speaking of Jesus, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And Jesus replied in part, you need to keep the commandments. There's the latter part of verse 17. Well, what do you mean, Jesus? Which commandments? Well, Jesus said, thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, and honor thy father and thy mother, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The young man said, well, Jesus, all these things that I kept from my youth up. And then he asked a question that, in hindsight, he may have wished he hadn't asked. But it was a question that needed to be posed, Jesus. And it's a question that you and I need to ask. We need to ask this question. What lack I yet? Jesus said, this young man, if you will be perfect, go and sell that thou hast. Give it to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me. But the young man, he heard that saying. When the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. This man here had what you might say the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, wouldn't you have loved to be in that day, to be able to see Jesus, to lay your eyes on Jesus, to talk to him, and to talk to him about spiritual concerns? This man had, he was a religious man. He was a man that knew the law. He was a man that respected the law. He was a man that reverenced God to some extent. All these things have I kept from my youth. There's no reason why he was lying about that. Jesus didn't call that into question. Here's what you need to do, young man. See, Jesus knew his heart. Jesus could see his heart. He could see the state of his heart. He knew that he was eaten up with materialism. You want to follow me? You want to be my disciple? You want to inherit eternal life? I'll tell you what you should do. Go sell what you've got and take the proceeds from that and give to the poor. Give those who are needy and hurting. You come follow me and you will have eternal life. He was that close. He could have eternal life. We don't know exactly what happened on his life thereafter. Maybe he had a change of heart. It's not recorded in Scripture. But at least for the moment, we have no reason to believe that ultimately this man will be saved because his possessions possessed him. And then there's Judas Iscariot, Matthew 26, 14 through 16. And of course, there's other passages as well that talk about his practice of taking money from the money bag. He was the treasurer among the disciples. He carried the bag. And from Scripture we see that he, in discretion, was slipping money, coins, in the bag. One of the 12, Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priest. He said, verse 15, to them, what will you give me? And I will deliver it to you, speaking of Jesus. What will you give me? Judas, what are you thinking about? How could you? Judas, you're one of the apostles. You've been following Jesus for these 3.5 years. You've heard him teach. You know who he is. He's the Son of God. What are you thinking, Judas? Judas, like the rich young man, he had the love of money in his heart. And so he entered into this bargain, this agreement, this covenant with the chief priest. For 30 pieces of silver, he became a traitor. He betrayed the Lord. From that time, verse 16 says that he saw the opportunity to betray Jesus. Why? Because greed. Because of covetousness. Because of desire to have more. Judas, what are you going to do with 30 pieces of silver? How far is that going to go? What a bad deal. And it wouldn't have mattered if it were $1 million. It would have been $10 million. The amount really, it would have been a bad deal regardless. But what people will do for money. Ananias and Sapphira, Acts 5, 1 through 10. You know the story. They wanted to have the accolades, seemingly, of their peers by acting in kind, selling property, taking the proceeds to the apostles that they could distribute to those who were less fortunate, those who were in need. And they lied about those proceeds. They lied to God. They lied to the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. And they were stricken dead by the wrath and judgment of God. These are illustrations that should leave an indelible impression on our minds. How God feels about greed, covetousness, materialism. There's a number of passages that warn against it. You have Luke chapter 12, 13 through 21. The parable, verse 16. The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. He thought to himself, saying, what shall I do? I have no where to bestow my fruits. Here's what I'll do. Take down my barns and build greater barns and bestow all my fruits, my goods, and will take my ease. Eat, drink, and be merry. But God said, hold on there, thou fool. This night thy soul shall be required of thee, in whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. Jesus warns against being like that. Material things do not satisfy. Ecclesiastes 5:10, he that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This also is vanity. You and I need to learn, as the psalmist had, Psalm 63, 1 through 8, that only God can fully satisfy. Only God can make us complete. Not things, not a structure, not an automobile, not something that has power, or a motorcycle, or a boat, and not even people. People cannot fully make us complete. We are mortal people. We have our flaws, our failures. We will disappoint, but God never will. Only God can satisfy. Read Psalm 63, 1 through 8 in your spare time. One can be wealthy and not be materialistic. We learned that with Abraham, Job, Barnabas. And so, it's not a sin to have wealth. It's not sinful to own things. But it is the heart. The disposition of the heart. When we have built our altar to another God, the God of materialism. Some practical suggestions. We need to learn and experience the joy of giving. Acts 20, 33 to 35, Paul, he talks to the Ephesian elders how that he himself had coveted no man's silver, no man's gold or apparel. You know how I work. I ministered with my own hands. I provided for my own necessities and also those that were with me. I have shown you all things, how that labor ye ought to support the weak. And to remember the words of the Lord Jesus, those words he spoke, recorded only here. It is more blessed to give than to receive. Other passages are supplied here, Ephesians 4:28. Perhaps in the past, we have been among those who stole, who took what belonged rightfully to another. And Paul says, don't do that. Work with your hands what's good, that you can give to those that are in need. An example of the first century Christians in Jerusalem, Acts 2:44 through 46, Acts 4:32 through 35. We need to learn and experience the joy of giving. Colossians chapter 3, verse 5, not in your notes, but Paul teaches about how that we need to mortify the flesh. That is, we need to put the flesh, the interests and desires of the flesh, to death. We've got to subdue our fleshly desires. Colossians 3, verse 5. We need to learn the riches of true contentment. First Timothy 6:9 again, the warning is, but verse 6, rather godliness with contentment is great gain. Certain things that we need to flee, verse 11 and 12. There's three philosophies. This is among the last part of our notes. Three philosophies in life that you and I can subscribe to. Take this from the parable that Jesus gave in Luke chapter 10, 30 through 37. And you remember the disposition, the mindset of the thief as he robbed the man. He had the mindset that what is yours is mine. What is yours is mine. Is that our mindset? And then there were the two religious individuals that passed on the other side, and they were not going to invest any of their wealth or their time to bless the injured man who might well die any moment. What's mine is mine. What is mine I will retain. And the neighbor, he said, what's mine is not mine. It belongs to God. The steward. And we use it for good and bless. You and I, we need to know the Scriptures and not subscribe to a sin that seems to be respectable because we live in a fluent 21st century culture.